What's up? Welcome to my recap for Supernatural Season 10. Yes, we are now on to Season 10 of Supernatural, and as I always do, last season ended with all the angels falling down, Dean and Sam stopping them, and then Crowley causing the Mark of Cain to activate and turning Dean into a demon. So this season starts off with two demons just talking about when it's revealed that Sam is actually torturing them on information about Dean. So then we cut to Sam. Then we cut to 4 weeks later where Sam looks at a note telling Dean to stop looking for him. And he's injured. Yeah, there is an in-universe reason for this. It's because Sam's actor, Jared Padalecki, dislocated his shoulder during a convention with Kevin Tran's actor. So to remedy this, the show had to write in that Sam got injured by a demon off screen. That's why he's injured. So, yeah, because he called Castiel, and Castiel's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Sam, about that demon injuring you." And yeah. So, yeah, it revealed that Castiel is getting sick because of his grace being stolen, but he doesn't tell Sam that. So, meanwhile, we see Dean, who is now a demon, sleeping with some women. That's when Crowley shows up and gets all mad at Dean for sleeping with some women in his bathrobe. So, we see Dean singing at a karaoke bar with people booing him because, I don't know. We see Demon Dean saying, I'm going to call this version Demon Dean and regular Dean. So we see Demon Dean sitting at, we see him singing with people, a karaoke song while people are booing him for some reason. They don't know how this works. They're not supposed to be booing the singer. So, yeah. So, Crowley's starting to get a bit bored of Demon Dean and saying about how, we've had fun howling at the moon and stuff, but now we need to get down to the business. Yeah. So, meanwhile, Sam discovers that Sam is working on a case where he sees that a person was attacked by some other guy who's revealed to be Dean. And he sees Dean's eyes blackened, discovering that Dean's actually a demon. So he obviously calls the victim to discover it's Crowley. And Dean basically says, I'm coming for you and stuff. So meanwhile, then Sam's car breaks down where a guy helps him, only then punch him out. This is Cole. And yeah, this is Cole, a regular character of this season, who has a vendetta against Dean because, as we learned in the second episode, Dean murdered his father when he was a child. And he's wanted the revenge on Dean ever since. So, yeah. He calls Demon Dean, and Demon Dean literally tells him to kill Sam because he doesn't care about him. And, yeah. So, Crowley in second episode, after explaining after Cole explained to Sam that Dean killed his family, Dean killed his father, he now wants revenge. So meanwhile, Crowley hires Dean to protect this guy, played by Anna Tully from Arrow, because he saw his wife cheating on him and sold his soul to a demon, so now he wants Dean to kill the wife. But Dean gets a car in this guy and realizes that this guy is awful, by ordering him around saying, you're my demon now. So Dean kills Lester. And Crowley is kind of happy about this because he's like, dude, you're supposed to kill the wife. You're supposed to protect Lester, but you killed the protector instead of killing the target. And Dean gets all high and mighty, being like, Crowley, I don't need you. Yeah, so Sam shows up. He and Dean have a heart-to-heart. But Dean doesn't want to listen until they're both knocked out by Cole, who who Dean and Dean get into a fight, and he mentions about how he killed his father. He's like, I don't know who you're talking about, and they get into a big fight until Dean lets him go. So Crowley lets Sam take Dean away, and Dean says, "Oh yeah, Sam." He's like Demon Dean away. And then we see Crowley in a bar reminiscing over all the times he and Demon Dean did stuff together. Wow. So meanwhile, we see Sam talking to Demon Dean about how he let that guy go out of mercy. But Demon Dean's like, yeah, I didn't let that guy go out of mercy. He starts talking about how he's gonna do even worse things to Sam than he did that guy. So we see Demon Dean locked up as Sam is... So yeah. Meanwhile, with Castiel and Hannah, I forgot to mention Castiel and Hannah. Castiel and Hannah, who was on Castiel's side last season, but then went to Metatron's side, but then went back to Castiel's side, is now helping him. And they're living in a place. Yeah. So Sam mentions about how he met Lester in a bar. And Demon Dean tells him about how he killed Lester, and Sam mentions about how he met Lester in a bar, and he was trying, and the demons that we saw, and Lester met with a crossroads demon and paid for his soul to kill his wife. And that's why we saw the beginning episode of the beginning episode of episode 1 when Sam was incurred a demon on Dean's whereabouts because he was supposed to send Lester to ask Dean not to sell his soul. And then Dean mentions about how he killed Lester. Dean tells him how he killed Lester. So yeah, so Sam is reminiscing on the old times of his mom when Demon Dean breaks out and goes on the hunt for Sam. So meanwhile he calls Castiel and Demon Dean starts saying how he's starting to feel human emotions again I felt it would have been interesting if he pulled a Shining and said, "Here's Dean," but they didn't do that. Why not? He was hacking at the door. He had the door open. It would have been perfect if he said, "Here's Dean," but no, he just doesn't do that. That's when Castiel shows up and they use their magic to restore Dean back to his regular Dean self. Regular Dean. Yeah, his regular Dean self. So, yeah, and Dean's like saying, "Hey, what's going on?" So, yeah, so Dean is now back to his regular self. So now it's cool. So Demon Dean is gone. So in episode 4, when there was a bunch of werewolf attacks, and they discovered that Kate, remember the one from Bitten, that episode that I didn't like? Well, she's back now, and I don't know why they brought her back. Yeah, she's back now, and she has a sister who who they think is her, but she reveals she's a demon. But she has to tell Dean and Sam not to hurt her sister because she reveals that her sister was gonna die, so she turned her into a demon, turned her into a werewolf, only to discover that she was hurt. So they discover where she is, and she wants her to join her and to kill Dean and Sam, but she's forced to kill her sister. This episode's flawed, but I don't get why they had to bring Kate back. She was from Bitten, from season 8. Remember that episode that I talked about how I didn't like? Well, she's back. Well, meanwhile, in the 200 episode of the show, ladies and gentlemen, because we have made it to 200 episodes, there's this play that's going on where people are literally doing Supernatural as a play. And when one of the people gets killed, Dean and Sam have to investigate this. And since the people are buying this off the Supernatural books and think Dean and Sam are only fictional, when Dean and Sam try to tell them that they're the real people, they laugh at them, laugh to their faces, and say, "Oh yeah, ha ha ha," like ha. Like, ha ha ha, you guys are so funny. You know, right? The Supernatural Sam are fictional, right? So yeah, and also we get musical numbers. Like we get at the end, we get "Carry On My Wayward Son" by the choir, which is not as good as the Kansas song that they play in every at the end of every finale. But anyway, so yeah, it's revealed that there's this person, but Sam gets captured and they're able to find her and turn into goo. So in episode 6, when a ghost of a person kills a maid, Dean and Sam gets a surprising thing from Bobby's phone and discover that that they have to go to this Clue-like house because this episode is a Clue-like episode where people keep getting murdered left and right. And discovered that the real villain of the episode is the shapeshifter that Bobby killed the father of and forced the mother of the shifter to keep her locked up. When she decided that she couldn't kill Bobby, she wants to kill Dean and Sam. But Dean killed her too many times, which bothers Sam, and Dean's like, hey, stop talking about it. So yeah. So yeah. So in an episode we meet Rowena, who is a major character. But she enlists these two girls, and Dean and Sam find them. Meanwhile, Hannah's human's husband comes back, and Hannah starts to maybe think that they're keeping their people captive, and leaves her host Caroline's body. So she goes back to her husband like nothing ever happened because he thought he should be questioned things. He should be like, I thought you were with that handsome guy named Cassiel. But no, he welcomes her back. So yeah, so also this episode marks the return of Cole, who Dean so he tries to so he still thinks Dean's a demon and sprays holy water in his face until Dean's like, yo, he's not a demon anymore. So yeah, Dean has Rowena captive, and we met her in another episode where she had like this cameo where she was writing and she had these three guys at the top of a wall. But yeah, here's her full debut episode. So here's her full debut episode. Yeah, here's her full debut episode. So anyway, yeah. So Dean had her captured, and he turned the other girl that she had into a guard dog, which eventually got killed because she was weak-minded, and the other girl leaves. But then they revealed to Cole that his dad was actually a demon, and Dean didn't, and this makes him change his mind. So then it's revealed that Crowley's people captured Rowena off screen, and it's revealed that Rowena is Crowley's mom. Yes, I'm really not joking. This is Crowley's mom. So in episode 8, we get Jody Mills and the sheriff from the Purge episode. Remember her, the sheriff? The other one that was at the spa? Yeah, this is about them. And yeah, we also get a cameo from Alexis and Jody's daughter, who she calls about having like parties and stuff, and about how she smokes under the bleachers and stuff, and how she's a teenager. Hopefully we get an actual appearance from her next season, in season 11, but here she's just a cameo. So yeah, so when werewolves start appearing again, they think it's the good sheriff's, wait, what is her name? Sheriff Donna, that's her name. Sheriff Donna, husband. But and she even discovers it. But it's actually that he was a werewolf on, but he turned evil, turned good. So they kill him, and yeah. So in episode 9, we see a blonde girl that's revealed to be Jimmy Novak's daughter, Claire. Remember her from season 4? Yeah, she's now an adult now. She's played by Cassie Lang. She's now a teenager now, played by Cassie Lang herself. Cassie Lang from Ant-Man Quantumania, Catherine Newton. And Castiel visits her, and she first doesn't want anything to do with him, blaming her for the death of her dad. And saying about how Castiel, blaming him for the death of her father. Yep. That happened. And yeah, but he says he'll break her out, but when the authorities won't break her out, Castiel does it off screen, does it, and they bond about how the Castiel she remembers was a big meanie, but during the night she actually gets into a car and drives off. So Dean and Sam question why Castiel wants to keep looking for this girl when he only met her once, like in season 4. But Castiel's like, yeah, Claire is my responsibility. Meanwhile, back at Crowley's mom, Rowena is still captured by Crowley and his people, and is still captured by Crowley and his people. So yeah, but she's able to escape by saying that she'll help another person get out. Yeah, and she becomes a real annoying character this season. So, but anyway, back to it. So Claire's foster dad person wants her to rob a convenience store. But Castiel discovers this, and she's like, "Oh yeah, he's the only guy I have left after you killed my father, Castiel." Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, but Dean gets captured and the Mark of Cain makes him kill everyone. So in episode 10, The Hunger Games, Dean and Sam and Castiel are dealing with the fallout from Claire's foster father being attacked, and yeah. And she blames Dean most of all. So she moves out and meets with her 2 new friends, Axe Guy and Batgirl. Not Batgirl, Barbara Gordon. This girl that just holds a bat. Batgirl. They don't have names. So yeah. So she pretends to. So she calls Dean saying how she wants to talk to him, only for then her friends to try to kill him. But then she thinks that he's going to kill them, only for him to let them go. Then she just runs. Off. So, yeah. So, Rowena, Crowley's mom, is staying, or Crowley's mom, Fergus. She reveals that Crowley's real name is Fergus. Because it's like we needed to know that. Yes. Yeah, Crowley's real name is Fergus, not Crowley. And I'm sorry, my dad wanted me to do that. He said, do one of your roots talking a Scottish accent. So there you go, Dad. Watch this video, and you got your thing that you told me to speak in a Scottish accent. But anyway, yeah. So they decided to get Metatron's help because they decided to bring out Metatron to help him out. But Dean goes a little overboard, and Castiel has to send Metatron back to heaven. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, Claire's leaving, and it looks like she and Castiel are on good terms. So in episode 11, a guy is attacked by Charlie, of course. And Dean and Sam discover that Charlie is going after the guy that murdered her parents. So when they capture Charlie, she escapes, only for then the real Charlie to show up. And the real Charlie explains that back in Oz, Charlie wished that the wizard split Charlie into one half. The bad Charlie that is going after her parents, and the good Charlie that we see here. The bad Charlie ended up winning the war, and she wants to kill her parents. She wants to kill the people that killed Charlie's parents to prove that they belong together. And she says about how now the wizard and Dorothy rule Oz, or something like that. Sam tells Charlie off screen about what's going on with Dean and the Mark. But yeah. Yeah. So Sam and Castiel discover that there's this. So Sam and Charlie, we discover that there's this guy. But there's this guy who on his other side is the evil who has control of Oz. So they summon him, and he looks like a dark reject off of the Mighty Ducks because he wears a duck helmet. And they call this guy the Dark Wizard. He looks like he just came off of an evil spin-off called the Mighty Ducks Dark. So yeah, so evil Charlie, so Dean meets with the Dean meets with Clifford Blossom and Claudius Blossom from Riverdale, not the real characters. It's just his actor. But Dark Charlie shows up pretending to be good, but then she kills Clifford Blossom. So then Dean says a fake location, but then she and Dark Charlie get into a fight, injuring the real Charlie. And then they split them back together. And Charlie says that she's going to look at the Book of the Damned for Dean to fix them up. So in episode 12, when we see this, Dean and Sam are investigating this guy who was disintegrated. When Dean goes to a bar to meet this girl named Tina, okay? But that's when Dean sprayed with his magic dust that turns him back into a 14-year-old again. Still played by Carl Montclair. And the girl that he met, Tina, is now, I'm guessing, a child too. So Tina's able to, they find PJ, the guy that they were supposed to find, but he gets killed off screen. So she feigns an injury so Dean can go back, and Sam is kind of shocked to discover that his brother is now 14. Again. So Sam's forced to drive, and Dean says that by now he's 14, he's kind of regressing back to what he liked during that age, and now he likes Taylor Swift. And he likes Shake It Off. Because who didn't like Shake It Off back in 2015? Who didn't like Shake It Off in 2015? So they find the bad guy, and it's Hansel from the Hansel and Gretel folklore, who says that the witch there from the Hansel and Gretel folklore made him eat Gretel's heart. So they bust in to save Tina, but that's when it's revealed that the witch didn't make Hansel do anything, and he betrays them. And feels that he's evil and is about to kill Dean when Dean makes himself turn himself back into Jensen Ackles and makes him somehow his teenage body sweater is able to fit him as a grown adult. So he throws the witch and the hex bag that could turn Tina back normal into the fire. Tina thought they want to turn Tina back, but Tina decides that, hey, maybe she can get a second chance. She had a terrible job with 3 ex-husbands, and now that she's a kid again, maybe she can actually find a better life for herself. So in episode 13, Dean and Sam are investigating this out-of-control car that killed its driver. When the girls tell them that maybe it was the brother who killed its driver, they burn the car, but that's when another girl is killed, saying they knew what they did at 8:10. Dean and Sam discover that it's actually the boy of Corey Silver's husband that they killed, and has now been killing the people to get his revenge. But Mrs. Silver is able to recognize her husband and tell him not to be evil. So in episode 14, Kane's back again for some reason, and he's killing his descendants. So Castiel discovers that there are many graves, and Kane and Castiel finally get to meet. Yeah, so Rowena wants to kill this witch that forced her out of the coven, but Crowley's like, hold on for a bit, I gotta help the Winchesters. But Rowena kind of makes a good point about saying, how are you supposed to be evil when you're always helping the good guys? That's a good point. And Crowley's like, yeah, stay out of my business. The Winchesters are my deal, and I won't let you hurt them. Yeah, Crowley's mom is kind of annoying. So, yeah. So they finally find Kane, and with the help of Crowley's help, they discover that they're gonna go again. He's gonna try to kill the son of the prison inmate he killed, but they use an illusion, which I don't know how Kane fell for this. The kid's like, no, don't, and they try to kill him only to realize it's an illusion. Like, Kane, are you dumb? How could you not realize that's a little kid? Kids don't usually say, no, don't, stop. Like, the kid would be terrified. How did he fall for that? So then Dean and Kane get into a fight where Kane's gonna be like, he killed his brother, and Dean's gonna be the last one to kill his, and then he's gonna kill Crowley and Castiel. But then Dean proves him wrong by killing Kane. He also despite Dean wanting to forget about the mark and all that, Sam still wants to look for it. But when they get a case about a wife murdering her husband, they discover that they think it's the Rougarous are back, and they get the help of Cole, who's now a redeemable hero, and discovers that one of the people that was killed was one of the people that is missing was one of his army friends. So he wants to help Dean and Sam find the army guy, I guess. But when the con worm gets inside him, he's now going to kill Dean and Sam. Yeah, but they're able to get out of him, and I guess he leaves. I don't know. So in Painted Black, yeah, that reminds me of the song from Fairy Tale, from Black Clover. But anyway, when priests are getting killed, Dean and Sam discover it. Meanwhile, Crowley finally gives Rowena what she's always wanted. Olivia, the person that she wanted to go after that threw her out of the coven. Yeah. So Olivia reveals that the Man-Lighters are the real reason why they're being taken out, and that there's only two Man-Lighters we'll have, Dean and Sam. And she's like, you're telling me Dean and Sam, the Winchesters. Yeah. So yeah, so then she tried to talk about Crowley about this, and she's like, "Did you know that your pals, the Winchesters, were men of letter?" And he's like, "Stop it. The Winchesters are my business, and let me handle them, and you will not kill them." Yeah, this whole thing about how this guy killed his, how this girl discovered that her husband, that the guy she liked cheated on her, so she killed him, but they're able to burn her up. So yeah. So Dean and Sam, Dean and Sam still want. So Castiel and Sam, against Dean's wishes, decided to look out the mark of Cain. So this guy, this old man of letters guy that was training to be a man of letters before Abaddon killed them all. And they decided to contact with Bobby. Yeah, Bobby's back. And they decided to contact with him and help him, And they discovered that there are a bunch of other Bobbies. Yeah. Because since Hannah, who had this new form, wouldn't help them because for some reason, even though the moment she and Castiel spent together, she would not help them get Metatron out. But Bobby will, so they get him out of there. Meanwhile, Dean is playing pool and is in the bathroom, and he almost turns Demon Eye when Rowena meets the guys that Dean hustled and turned them against Dean, and she reveals about how she wants to protect her son Crowley, and Dean's like, "Wait a minute, Crowley's your son?" And she's like, "Yeah." So she goes back to the mansion, goes back to the lair, and beats herself up to make it look like Dean beat himself up. And Crowley's like, "Wait a minute, you talk to Dean? Are you crazy, woman?" So going to talk to for hurting his mom, for talking to his mom, Crowley then Dean like saying, "Hey, your mom's crazy. Does your mom really care about you at all, bro?" And then, so this makes Crowley be like, yo, Rowena, I never really cared about you, so you can get out. He's like, you can get out, leaving Rowena on her own. In the book of the Damned, we see the return of Charlie again. Yeah, she's back, and she's being hunted by the Stein family, who want the book, who want the book for some reason. So yeah, so Charlie gets shot a bit, but doesn't. But she's able to So meanwhile, Castiel is still hanging around Metatron because he made him human at the end of the last episode. But Metatron obviously betrays Castiel, but Castiel is able to find his stolen grace in the library and booms out of there. So meanwhile, the Steins, discover where they are, and they decide to burn the book. And it looks like Sam burns the book because Dean wants it burned, and he's like, "My family." And then before the main guy dies, he's like, "My family would do anything for that book." Only for Sam to realize he didn't burn that book at all. He burned a different book. And then he goes to Rowena to be like, "Yo, you can help me. Can you help me save Dean?" And she's like, "Yeah. In return, and if I help you save Dean, you'll kill Crowley." Also, they're still welcome to the Dean lying storyline, because now we're on the whole, they have to lie to Dean to protect Dean, because of course they do. And also Dean lies to Castiel lies to Dean saying about how Hannah gave him his stuff back, not Metatron, and Charlie finally gets to meet Castiel. So in the Weather Project, we meet this girl named Susie, who in the 1970s accidentally released a spirit which caused her family to kill themselves, leaving her as the only survivor. So meanwhile, so Sam meets with Rowena, and Sam meets with Rowena. Sam meets with Rowena, and they come a plan. So meanwhile, yes. So meanwhile, what happens is that. So so Crowley. So yeah. So Crowley's minions can't find Crowley's mom. Yeah. So yeah. So Dean and Sam discover Susie, who's this recluse old woman who. Oh, meanwhile, Sam discovers, but she almost shoots him. But then, but that's when Sam does a spell at the box, which then releases it, which possesses her and Dean, which causes Susie to see all her family, which convinced her to kill herself. And Dean sees Benny, showing that Benny did die at the end of season 8. Sad that Benny's dead. Benny wants Dean to drive it, and Rowena is causing Sam to drip all this blood, legacy blood, but Dean snaps out of it and does it too. Yeah, and now Sam is like, yeah, you'll learn how to translate that as long as you're locked up here. So in episode 20, we see the return of Claire again in her second appearance, and she's interviewing this guy about her mom. But when the guy says he doesn't know anything, he knows her name, but she knocks him out and calls her to the hospital. That's when Castiel, Dean, and Sam show up, and she's kind of happy about seeing Castiel or Dean or Sam. So she escaped, but they're able to find her, and Castiel gives. Meanwhile, we see Amelia, Jimmy's wife and Claire's mom, being put in these hallucinogenic situation where she sees Jimmy and then he just disappears. So Dean and Claire bond over mini golf while Castiel finds Amelia, but she freaks out because she was looking for him. But he's able to say about how Jimmy's up in heaven, showing that Jimmy is actually dead. Sad. Don't know what killed him. Maybe it was Lucifer blowing him up in season 5. Who knows? But anyway. So Dean and Claire bond over mini golf while Castiel finds Amelia, but she freaks out because she was looking for him. But he's able to say about how Jimmy's up in heaven, showing that Jimmy is actually dead. Sad. Don't know what killed him. Maybe it was Lucifer blowing him up in season 5. Who knows? But anyway. So Sam gets captured by this guy but then he disappears and he fights Amelia, only for then Amelia to sacrifice herself by taking a stab that was meant for Claire. Tragically, Amelia dies, but she's reunited with Jimmy in heaven. So now Claire decides to. It seems like she's living with. It does feel like they do say how she's gonna live with Jody. Jody already has a daughter, so in Dark Dynasty, we got the return of Charlie once again, who teams up with Sam, Rowena, and Castiel against Dean's wishes to help against Dean's wishes and they say they're all doing it for Dean. Yeah. Yeah. And they say they're all doing it for Dean. Yay. But lying to him isn't cool, guys. Absolutely dislike when the show does this whole lying thing. So, of course, they capture one of the Smith's family who are ordered to they capture the guy, who he reveals to Dean that the book can't be destroyed because it's protected by magic, which does get Dean a bit curious about how Sam destroyed the book at the end of Charlie's last episode, but now he says it's gone. Yeah, so the guy decides to pull a Grimmjow and decides to pull the toes in with a Grimmjow and cut off his hand to escape. So, yeah. So Sam gets a call from Charlie, and Dean finds out about the whole lying thing and is obviously mad at Sam for, So, yeah. So Dean and Sam both tell Charlie to let the Smith have it, but she says, I can't do that, Dean. And once they get to that motel, they find Charlie dead. Wow. And Sam's kind of in denial over this because he blames himself for if he hadn't have gotten her in this, and she'd still be alive. So in episode 22, which is the penultimate episode of the season, we see this guy he's a Smith at the Steins. They're the Steins, who are actually Frankensteins because they can put themselves back together with other body parts just like Frankenstein can. But I'm just going to call themselves the Steins because that's... So one of the Stein cousins is being bullied by this guy, so they kill the guy. So meanwhile, they have Charlie's funeral where Sam tries to apologize, but Dean's not having any of it, saying that he'd rather want Sam burnt Sam's body. He'd rather want Sam dead than Charlie. So, Dean with the salty cusses. He is salty this episode. So Dean now wants revenge on the Stein family for killing Charlie. Well, Sam has to let Castiel in the bad news that Charlie is dead. And Castiel kind of blames himself, saying that he should have gone after her. Yeah. So, meanwhile, Rowena is still trying to put this spell together. So, yeah. So, meanwhile, yeah. So Dean gets captured by these cops who destroy the Impala, destroy his baby. They destroy baby. They do. They destroy baby. And sad. R.I.P. But they arrest him, but then he escapes and discovers that they're actually in league with the Smythes, with the Steins. And so Dean gets on an operation table where they're gonna kill him, but then he's like, "Hey, if you kill me, I'll just come back to life as a demon." But then he gets loose and kills all three of them. So meanwhile, the rest of the Stein family discover the Man of Light, and Cyrus Stein starts feeling bad because he sees and he says, "Hey, maybe we don't have to do this." And he's like, "Yeah, we do." That's when Dean shows up and he's like, "Hey, don't give me the speeches. I already killed your dad." So then he shoots Elton Blanken. When Elton says about how he's like, "Are you mad about that girl?" And he's like, "Her name was Charlie." And her name was Charlie. He's like, dude, Charlie probably deserved it. You do not. Yeah, he says about how Charlie maybe deserved to die. And that's when Dean just point blank shoots him in the head. Cyrus tries to reason with him, but Dean's like, nah. Castiel shows up and is like, "Dean, you're killing Dean." He's like, "Dean, what are you doing, man? You killed Dean. I know would have never killed a kid." And he's like, the Dean you know kind of sucks, man. And this is a new and improved Murder Dean. So Dean and Castiel get into a fight where Dean's gonna kill Castiel, but he stops himself and he's like, "Don't leave me alone, or next time I'll kill you." So yeah. So in episode 23, the finale, Dean is now being rude to people. We finally meet Rufus, the guy that Dean mentioned at the end of last episode. Yeah. So, yeah, but anyway. We meet Rufus, the guy that Castiel met at that Crowley knows. Yeah, we finally meet Rufus. But Rufus gets himself, tells Sam about how Dean's changing. He's like, but then Rufus gets into a situation, and Dean's like, "Oh, that guy's not really gonna kill him," and until Dean kills Rufus himself. Wait, what's his name? Wait, no, he kills Rudy himself. Wait a minute, Rufus is Bobby's friend. He kills Rudy himself, and Sam discovers it. So Dean decides to meet with Death. Remember Death? He decides to meet with him, and Sam discovers this, and he and Dean get into a fight. But Sam showing him pictures that makes Dean kill Death. But before Death dies, he reveals that if they remove the mark of Cain, they're gonna release the darkness, whatever that is. Meanwhile, but Dean kills Death. But how do you kill Death? But anyway, meanwhile, so we meet Castiel peers into Rowena's memories when she says she's never loved anything ever, not even her son. That's when we meet Seth, or Oscar. Rowena, he was dying, but Rowena gave him immortality, so Castiel uses, but Crowley, yeah, so Crowley, and the whole thing is that Castiel, Crowley, Sam, Rowena, yeah, Rowena hired Sam to kill Crowley, but when he finally did, he actually turned Crowley back to being evil. It's not Crowley's, because Crowley got his red eyes again, and he was like, I enjoyed all of those kills. So now he's back to being evil. So yeah, so Rowena sacrifices Oscar. They do the spell that releases the mark of Cain, but in doing so, it unleashes the darkness. So then things start firing. Rowena really does a spell that makes Castiel attack Crowley, and things start firing as a big swarm starts coming for Sam and Dean. Wait for season 11 to find out. As the swarm engulfs, the darkness engulfs them, the darkness swarm engulfs them. Wait for season 11 to find out what happens. That's where we ended up. Season 9 ended with heavens falling. Season 8 ended with the heavens falling down. Season 9 ended with Dean becoming a demon, and season 10 ended with a darkness horde swarming the Impala. Yep, that's the show for you. So I wonder where season 11 is going to take us. We only have 5 more seasons left before we end this 15-season run. And with the show hitting 200 episodes, I'm going to do the season end. I'm going to have the logos of each season as the end credits. To commemorate this show's 200,000 shows. And it's kind of funny that Supernatural broke Smallville. Yeah, Smallville ended with 217 episodes, and since the season finale of season 10 was episode 218, it broke Smallville's record. And we all know that Supernatural goes on to have 327 episodes, but man, wow, did they create a milestone. So, yeah, the musical episode was fine. I kind of liked it. I kind of liked how in the preview for this season, for the finale for this season, they start with the musical version of "Carry On My Wayward Son," and then they do the "Then Now" and then have the actual song play. Kind of like that. That was kind of a change of pace for the show. Yeah, and they actually had the musical version soundtrack. But anyway, I'm Beckham Vision Reacts, and I remember it. Right now, I demon slay it, so you don't have to. But what will be happening on Supernatural season 11? What will Rowena do now that she's free? How Crowley and Castiel get out of their situation with Crowley now attacking Castiel, with Castiel now attacking Crowley? How will Dean and Sam get out of the swarm? Will we see, it's kind of funny how the Steins try to make themselves try to say, oh, Dean, they're the toughest threat Dean and Sam have ever faced. They faced Lucifer, you guys. They faced Lucifer in season 5. Maybe like since we'll probably see Lucifer again at some point since he wasn't killed. He was put in the cage with Michael at the end of season 5. So they'll have to bring back Lucifer and Michael at some point because they can't just leave them in the cage for that long. But anyway, this is my review for season 10, and I'll see you next time. We gotta give some RIPs here. RIP Charlie, RIP Rudy, RIP Oscar, RIP Amelia, Claire's mom. Yeah. And RIP Death. Even though Death shouldn't have died, but it could have been that they couldn't have any more stories for Death because Death last appeared in season 9, episode 1 and season 10, episode 23. I guess they didn't have any more stories for him. But I'll see you next time.